All right, you guys, so Battlefield 2042's got some news we got to jump into. That is not a very good indicator for the future of the game. We know Battlefield has got some hurdles that they've got to face. For instance, lack of content, missing features, bugs and glitches, and now the rapidly declining player count. If we're being honest though, the player count has been declining since launch, but we do have some news we're going to jump into regarding that situation. Hey, what's up everyone? Wes here. Welcome back to another Battlefield 2042 video. And to get started, we are going to be jumping into the biggest topic of the day, and that is the news that just came out that Battlefield 2042 has officially been overtaken by BF5 according to Steam charts. Real quick, guys, I'm giving away a PlayStation 5 and a copy of Battlefield 2042. To enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, comment your Twitter handle. The winner will be announced at 55,000 subscribers. The brand new Battlefield game that you would expect to do well on Christmas Day is actually down pretty bad. Now, there is one thing that is worth mentioning, and that is the fact that these are based on Steam data. It does not take into account the console data or via Origin, Game Pass, and EA Play. But if these Steam charts are any indication about the potential player count decrease of BF 2042, then it is not looking good for Battlefield 2042. So according to the Steam charts, Battlefield 5 peaked at 25,000 players on Steam, while Battlefield 2042 sat at 18.8 thousand players. Now, it is worth mentioning, if we look at the current data for today, Battlefield 2042 is currently sitting at 17.6 thousand players, and then Battlefield 5 is currently at 4,600 players. Now, there could be a number of reasons why BF5 overtook BF 2042 for the day. It could be that there's a current sale going down with Battlefield 5 right now. It's currently sitting at 75% off on Steam right now. It's only $12. So maybe there was like a Steam promotion that promoted that game, which is why we saw such a spike in the player count. Now, it's also worth mentioning that there could be a streamer that decided to jump on BF5, or content creators started making more BF5 content, which drove up the Steam player count. But the likely scenario is people probably just got BF5 for Christmas, and that's why we saw such a big spike in the player count with BF5. Or it could be the situation that players are already starting to get burnt out with BF 2042, and the current veterans of the Battlefield franchise decided to go back to BF5 because they enjoyed that experience more. Until we see the data that showcases the full player count of Battlefield 2042, then I think it's really hard to determine whether or not this game is dying or not. Overall, do I think the player count for BF 2042 is declining? Yes, I think it's pretty obvious at this point. And there is a number of reasons why that is. It could be the bugs and glitches players are facing. It could be the lack of content, or the missing features that make Battlefield games Battlefield, like a scoreboard, a single player campaign or some sort of story, a server browser, multiplayer game modes like TDM, persistent lobbies, a class system, in-game stats, and character customization that's not based on tedious challenges or locked behind levels. The reality and the biggest hurdle that Battlefield is going to have to face is the fact that longtime players of the franchise feel like this game is such a step in the wrong direction that they feel like they need to jump on another game in order to get that core Battlefield experience back. Or they've just dropped the franchise in general and played games like World War III or Ready or Not or Escape from Tarkov. Battlefield at its core started out to be more of a milsim game, but over the years, and especially with this title, it's felt like more of an arcade shooter, which might be a good play for them in the future in terms of revenue. But the reality is they attempted it and they launched a game that was half done. In order for Battlefield 2042 to turn it around, they're gonna have to make some pretty serious changes, like considering bringing back the original class system, or at the very least have a game mode in All Out Warfare that does feature the original class system. There's essentially going to have to be a major overhaul for this game in order for it to have a No Man's Sky type redemption arc. But what I'm fearing the most is they decide to just drop the support for this game entirely to focus on the next Battlefield game. That likely won't release until 2023 if we're lucky. Now I'm going to shift focus about a theory that I've had for quite some time, and that is the fact that Battlefield 2042 feels like it should be a battle royale game. Honestly, if you play the game right now and see the different specialists, it feels like they attempted to do Apex 2.0, and then halfway through the game's development they decided to scrap it so that they could focus on the core multiplayer experience. Now, it could be that that is still happening, but they're working on another game mode that is free to play. If we look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 19, essentially what they did is they launched the core multiplayer experience, and then about 4 months later or 5 months later, they launched Call of Duty Warzone that was obviously a free to play multiplayer battle royale. Do I think Battlefield 2042 and the developers at DICE are going to attempt another battle royale? I think you can make a pretty strong case that that is indeed true. If you look at the work they did with Battlefield Firestorm, then you know that they could make a pretty intense and high action battle royale game. But the reason that Firestorm failed, and Hazard Zone failed for that matter, is the fact that it was locked behind a paywall. So if their entire goal with Battlefield 2042 was to launch the core multiplayer experience and then 5 or 6 months later launch a brand new battle royale mode that is free to play, that I think this entire situation about declining player counts could be a issue of the past. But that would still not solve the problem of the core Battlefield veterans leaving the franchise. I have personally dived into Tarkov a little bit more, and I've actually enjoyed that high intense action more than I did with a traditional battle royale mode. What I will say though is if they're trying to get larger streamers on Battlefield 2042, the best way to do that is to release a battle royale. If you want to get people like Nick Mercs, Tim the Tapman, Dr. Disrespect, and the other high profile battle royale players, the only way that you're going to get them to play BF 2042 is if you released a battle royale mode. At the end of the day, the battle royale game mode is the core multiplayer experience that people prefer nowadays. Traditional multiplayer games have been going downhill quite a bit, and we could see that happening in real time with Battlefield 2042. And I think the next game mode that's taking the world by storm is going to be something similar to Escape from Tarkov. We saw Battlefield try to attempt that with Hazard Zone, and we're likely going to be getting a Tarkov style mode in Modern Warfare 2022. So maybe the best play for Battlefield is to completely overhaul Hazard Zone and make it more of a milsim tactical shooter like Tarkov. But either way, guys, I still have hope that Battlefield 2042 will be able to turn things around, especially with Vince Zampella at the helm. I think there's a lot of people that are underplaying that announcement. Vince Zampella is an industry leader and he knows how to make good games. And I personally think that whatever he's going to do with the Battlefield franchise going forward is going to be something completely wild to see. And for that reason, I cannot be more excited about the future of the franchise. I just hope that the developers in the interim are able to turn things around with Battlefield 2042. Guys, that's going to wrap it up with today's video. If you want to win that PlayStation 5 and a copy of Battlefield 2042, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, comment your Twitter handle. The winner will be announced at 55,000 subscribers. I hope you all had a happy holiday. Don't forget to like the video and check back again tomorrow for another Battlefield 2042 news video.